10 seconds ago you weren't. But now you are watching my favorite YouTube channel, the Black Panther, issue 218, the sixth comic book of Dr. Ewell Ewing's run, where she maintains his status quo, rather his not status quo, where he's not the king. Actually, she continues to further honor Lord Voldemort's writing from just 6 issues ago. It is a story about this villain here, Kivuma, who's got the chokehold. Yeah, I got the Draymond variant over here for those of you watching in the future. Draymond Green's a basketball player who did that move in a basketball game yesterday to Rudy Gobert.
Every team has an enforcer. The Warriors have Draymond.
So that's what I'm referencing. I got another variant here. I didn't even look at this. I just kind of collected it. What franchise is it? Looks like Moon Knight with Jackal's Moon Knight's End variant. All right. The more you know. They just needed a reason to make a variant, and they just said, yeah, Moon Knight's doing a thing. Let's give him that. I didn't get the 1 in 25 variant, as my friend BJ Kicks would tell you. Just don't have the money for that.
I'm grabbing cover A only because that 1 in 25 variant is beautiful, but I can't pay more than cover price for a comic book anymore. Just can't do it.
The story is completely about Kivuma, the beginning of this character, and they go back into the past to talk about a prior Black Panther. So T'Challa's appearances are reduced to, oh, it's not even the last page. It's the last panel up there, up top. You see that? That's T'Challa right there. There's that T'Charlie guy over there running across. I guess he gets some dialogue in his thinking text box. I am a guy who's more so a fan of the guys, the lead titled characters. But if Kivuma, who I remember yearning for last month, who is this guy? Gotta know more. Well, I got what I wanted. This would be better served in a series like Wakanda, but Marvel Comics don't really know what they're doing. They didn't know this would come at the time, but I would have loved for this story to have taken place last year. Maybe issue 6 of Wakanda is where it would have been very good. But they had a moment here where they actually referenced something that happened in issue 22 of Black Panther, and we'll get more into that when I talk to the griots on Sunday. I'm going to record it, but you guys will see the whole, unless you're a member. You can watch the live stream if you're a member. But I will be talking and doing T'Challa time. That's an hour-long stream usually. I'll cut, I'll edit, I'll crop and trim, and to make it a more enjoyable thing for the masses, what you'll see post. I posted it on Reddit also, on the Black Panther subreddit, because I thought it was worth posting there. I know about self-promotion, I know about the murky territory, but I thought it was worth doing, especially, never mind, you get the point, right? Okay, in the past, a century ago, the Black Panther's name is Mtili, King Mtili, the Black Panther. And I like how there was a text kind of, what do you call these things? Labels? Yeah, she labeled the entire name of this guy. But then there's comic later. There's comic where she's talking. The wife of this man, is talking to him, and it was so expositionally. And I just felt like you probably could have left a label right there, and a label saying who that baby is, and then we wouldn't have such the big exposition dump. There was a lot of exposition. I noticed also here when these two henchmen were talking, and they were like, "Hey, they're gonna give the Circlet of Bast this award that's gonna go to." The not Hunter, but the Hatuzaraze member who is going to become Kivuma. This guy deserves that, and they talked about it here. But like a few pages later, we're going to see that entire ceremony take place. Yeah, I don't like supporting characters getting this much, and now we're watching a supporting character of a Black Panther who's not actually T'Challa in an era where T'Challa is, let's face it, look at the movies, and they try to de-emphasize his importance to the brand, even though he's a primary character of it. We watched a video game get announced last month, a few months ago, where in the description of what's to come, they never solicited that T'Challa is the king. And we got that rumor from a guy in the game industry who broke this news over a year ago. EA is developing a video game with a smaller studio. It begins with the Black Panther dying, which makes you go, huh? T'Challa dies? We have to understand the threat. And this guy, T'Charlie, this dude here, I forgot his name, T'Charlie, I think his name was T'Charlie, is missing. So for the time to go to a King Mtili, guy we really never heard about, but he's got a mustache, that's his like this standout factor. And for not just him to get screen time, but other characters who we know we're never going to hear of. They're not too significant to the popularity of the brand. I don't even remember what this Dora Milaje's name was, those two henchmen. So much went to non-Black Panther characters, and that's kind of my gripe. That doesn't have anything to do with how good the story was, because I was invested in reading the story. I don't also doubt that Dr. Evel Ewing is pro character of T'Challa. It's just this is the route that she's going, and that's I gotta see the thing through. And I can even now tell you that it's enjoyable to read, but it's worrisome with every passing month and issue where he's not addressing the king status. He wasn't an Avenger either, but the very first page of Avengers, first page he's on, Carol Danvers appears and says, "Hey, look, we're gonna make an Avenger again." So they undid that storyline, that plot line. It wasn't supposed to be a thing. They made him not the Black Panther again. Well, he's still the Black Panther. He's a Black Panther running without the legal certification or the he's not approved, but he's still Black Panther. All right, well, King again. He's the intergalactic emperor of Wakanda, isn't he? That still hasn't been taken away. They really haven't been touching on it. The last time I seen anything intergalactic empire, it was The Last Annihilation, Wakanda, a one-shot. Which, if you guys watch Wakanda Whiskey and Blurredom, they were wrong. It was not an issue of Wakanda where that M'Baku character, not real M'Baku, and new M'Baku from Intergalactic Empire, that little one-shot, that was here. Nobody subscribes to Black Comic Lords. Nobody. This is not an advertisement to that channel. At all. The Black Comic Lords, not getting any free press here on this YouTube channel. The design of this character looked cool. No loincloths or anything in the past that would be offensive. The bulkiness of him so that his silhouette stands out from what we know T'Challa to be. You know, it's a thing. Now, is he Azuri's father? If he's from a century ago, I don't know. It is interesting and it is expanding and it builds the lore. The main point of this is my boy Ndozi. And Ndozi is against the king. He's got his problems with the way he handles business. The king wasn't outwardly anti-Ndozi, but he didn't award him the Circlet of Boss. It felt like he got his problems and his gripes with him. So he says, fine, screw it, I'll do it myself. He goes, to be the swift arm of justice that Wakanda required to return to our country to its greatest foundations, I needed other abilities, and I heard rumors of a shaman who was bereft of students. Whispers that the village now feared and loathed his wisdom. So this guy is a Wakandan. They kept things Wakandan. I think he's Wakandan at least. And he's a fat shaman guy. And he says, teach me. He is the Kivuma creator, which means Kivumas can be created, I think. He reminds me of Zawavari, the way that works, but he can't be Zawavari because by the way you'll see how he gets defeated, I think that whoever the witch doctor of present, or rather the witch doctor of the past, hooked up this Black Panther and Mintili, and hooked up Mintili with some of those dusts that could foosh, which was exactly the words that they used during that Doom War era comic book line, right? Foosh, like literally spelled that way, which is a great touch by the writer for remembering that. So Kivuma, he was stronger in the past. He got here by sihr. He got here because of all this past sequence. I would have loved for more pages to go to this, to see what it took. Climbing a mountain, not for a heart-shaped herb at the end, but I don't know why, to improve his physical strength. He's got some scarification stuff there that may be some homage to some African present real life kind of tribal, what's it called? He drinks purple fluid, which is, I remember from the movie, some snakes that he's got to be upside down, so I guess he's got to master his fear. It's a whole thing. And then there's these white demon ghosts, 2 of them, huh? I don't know what to think of this, but if there's 2 of them, maybe there could be 2 Kivumas. And we get to the transformation. There's undeniable power in the wilderness of our evils. So we get to see the bank robberies, and we get to see a lot of things that are outside of Wakanda. You can tell they're outside of Wakanda because there's skin pigmentation. A lot of havoc is being caused and time is passing for obviously go from one place to another. So the king is prepared for it and he has his solution. Hey, I know what to do. I don't know where he obtained all of the powders, right? I don't see it on his suit at all, but it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere where he just fooshed. He figured out who it was immediately. He already told him. He's the Black Panther, and not just T'Challa is a Black Panther who's intellectual. This guy was too. King Tilly. We'll close out with him returning to like this plane, and it has a lot to do with Ta-Nehisi Coates, the previous guy who wrote the comic book. I love my Eve, L. Ewing, editor's notes, E. Love them. They always enhance a comic book, and it's always like reassuring to know that the creator is involved, invested. After he's been freed and he's been allowed to go out and about, Kivuma found the Grey Wolf. Kivuma found Baba Nikisu, and that just ties us back up to this part of the story with T'Charlie. And T'Charlie is on the roof with a beautiful palm tree. Baba Nikisu just said Kivuma out loud. And that's that. And here's the map of Wakanda. If you like the map of Wakanda, I look at it every single time. I memorize where is Burning T'Chaka, where is the Jabari Mountains, and Warrior Falls, and all these places. And then someone's going to add to it, and someone's going to add to it, and then we'll have a fully fleshed out, at least map of Wakanda. And then we can associate storylines with, oh, that's Naganda up there. There's the lake. They barely ever talk about the lake. I don't want to see a lake story. That concludes that. My name is Chill, last name Monger. If you like me, subscribe to me. If you don't like me, don't subscribe. I don't want your subscription. If you thumbs up, you assist in this channel's growth. If you don't thumbs up, you're neutral, but you made it to the end of this video, so you also assisted in my growth. So thumbsing down is not an option. Leaving comments and making a community out of this is encouraged. Just like they asked you last week to be writing comic books, or like reviews at the back of this comic. Well, they got the video game. You know what irked me? The advertisement for Captain Marvel 2. In theaters, November 10th. Don't ruin a perfectly good cover to try to sell a movie to an audience base who everyone picking up, 99% of the people picking up this comic know that Captain Marvel 2 is out in theaters on November 10th. It's not a mystery. You didn't need to remind them, and you didn't need to, even if it's just a little bit, come on, it was a good cover of T'Charlie. I'm committing to the bit of T'Challa being choked out by Kivuma and what that meant. Now that I think of it, is it even T'Challa? No, yeah, he's got a beard. So because the character has a beard, that is T'Challa. It's definitely the outfit of T'Challa. It took me a second to, I'm wrong. I was gonna say, oh, that's the other, it's the other Black Panther. Freaking, hey man, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. If you appreciate me, then appreciate it. Write a comment. What did I skip over? Is there something more important? Do you want to talk about something Ta-Nehisi Coates? Issue number 22 will come up when I do this T'Challa time, issue number 6 special. Yeah, thanks. Bye.